basic granny square here. I'm using a double knit yarn. Usually I might use something like a 4 or 4.5 mil hook. Today I'm using 6 mil, just so that it shows up the stitches clearer, makes it easier for you to learn. So in my previous video that I've done for the granny square, I started with a magic ring, but for this purpose it really doesn't matter how you start, but this one I'm going to do the chain method. So this is how I do it. I'll make a slip knot. However you feel you can do a slip knot, there's that way. You've got a little slidey knot, or you can lay it down like that. This line goes over, okay, then you fold it over that line, and now we're going to pick up this strand here, okay, and pull both those, and there we have a slip knot, okay, and we can tighten it slightly. You don't want it too tight, you want to be able to slide your hook through it. So as you can see, I've got it so that my hook points downwards, so it comes through nicely. If I roll it and have it facing upwards, it catches, okay. So you want that nice, you want to be able to roll it, okay. So we're going to start with a chain of 6, okay. This bit on here doesn't count as the chain, okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So can you see there? I'm sorry, my tripod leg's in the way, but hopefully you can still see okay. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the loop that was on the hook. So this is the first chain that we made, and we are going to be working all our central section of our granny square into this hook here, okay. So we're going to start. The reason for the chain of 5 is that these 2 will be our chain 2 space, these 3 will be the treble, and this is the center ring. Every granny square will have blocks of 3, and on the corner it has a chain of 2 in between, and along the side has a chain of 1 between. So for the center, let's do this. We're going to do 3 trebles. So we can yarn over, insert into this center here, into this chain, and we are going to pull up a loop. So there are 3 loops on there, and we are going to yarn over and take these middle 2 off, yarn over, take the next 2 off. So that essentially looks like it's created a little ring, but this is going to be our 2 chain space on the next round, and it will all become clear in a moment. So yarn over, insert into that same chain that we just did the treble into, yarn over, take 2 off, yarn over, take 2 off, okay, and 1 more because we want 3 of them. Ooh. So yarn over, take 2 off, yarn over, take 2 off. So that there is our first granny block, okay, which is made up of 3 trebles. So we now have to have a corner, so we make a little bend in it. So we're going to do a chain of 2. So 1, 2. And it's becoming quite clear where we need to put the next stitch, okay? So it's just there. Yarn over into that chain, pull up a loop, so it's 3, yarn over, 1, 2, yarn over, take 2 off. There we go. And we need to do 2 more to make the granny block. Another one done. And another one done. So you can see now how this is the chain 2 has created a little space. So you've got the 3 trebles that are all together here. You've got 3 trebles here separated by the 2 chain. Okay, so we're going to do another 2 chain for the next corner, and we're going to do another block of 3. Okay, so that's our 3rd block made of 3 trebles all into that same little hole. Now we're going to do a chain of 2 for the final corner there. Now you can see we've got 3 here, chain of 2, 3, chain of 2, 3, and obviously a square has 4 sides, so this chain of 5 that we did becomes the last treble of the round, but to make it the block of 3 we need to add 2 more trebles into there. If you're finding it hard to find a gap, just pull those round a bit and you'll see there's plenty of space. So here we go. That's 1, 2. And now we have our chain of 5. We've got the 2 chains for the space, and we've got 1, 2, 3, which is the treble. So we're going to insert our insert our hook into that chain. We're going to pull through and pull through. That's known as a slip stitch, and instantly you can see, hopefully you can see that you have a square. So 3 trebles, chain of 2, 3 trebles, chain of 2, 3 trebles, chain of 2, 3 trebles, and you've got that chain of 2 in the beginning there. So to do the next round, we are going to slip stitch into this chain space. So literally pull up a loop and straight through. We are now in that chain space. We're in a space, not into a stitch or anything, and we are going to work like we did the last one. We need 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is going to be the last treble of the round plus the chain of 2. So we need to make this continue to be square. So this chain space is a corner space. It's a chain 2 space, which is a corner, and any spaces that we create will be the side, and then we come to this corner. So a corner has 2 lots of these granny blocks in it. I'll do the 3 trebles here. 1, 2 and 3. So those 3 trebles have all been worked into the same space as that chain of 5. Can you see? Now on the sides we have just single of everything, as in a chain space or a granny block, remembering that each granny block is 3 trebles. Okay, so I've just done chain 1, and now we're going to work into this next 2 chain corner space. So yarn over, insert, and here we are going to do 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles, all into the same space. So this is 1. Make sure though that when you do your first treble that you do keep into this space, because now you've got a space that's here that's appeared. We're not working into this space yet. This will be the next round, but this one here is where we need to place all our stitches. Okay, so that's 1 block. That's 1, 2, 3 trebles, chain of 2 because it's a corner, and 3 more trebles into that same space. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1 because we're on a side, because we completed the whole corner. Can you see? 3 trebles, chain of 2, 3 trebles, all into this same space. So that's a corner. Just a chain on the side for this round, and we're going to repeat that into this next 2 chain space. 1, 2, 3. Okay, chain of 2 because we're the corner, and another 3 trebles into the same space. That's another corner that's made. So we've got a side, chain 1, and we've got this empty corner here, so let's put our corner in. That's the first half of the corner. Chain 2, and into the same space we do another 3 trebles. I'm trying to keep it really slow so you can see what I'm doing, but when you've been crocheting for 30+ years, it's hard to do things slow. So there we have that. Now we've got another side, so we're going to chain 1. Now we've almost completed the square, but we need to finish off this granny block, this whole corner. So we have this half of the corner and this bit here, and we need to make that 3 stitches. So we put in 1, 2. There we go. So we now have to put a slip stitch into the 3rd chain. 1, 2, 3. So we insert our hook, pull up a loop and pull it through. That now completes the 2nd round. Okay, we're now going to do the next round, and it starts exactly the same. We're going to slip stitch into that 2 chain space, and we're going to chain 5. Now we're going to work into the same space. We're going to work 3 trebles because it's the corner. So it starts exactly the same as round 2. Okay, that's half the corner made. So now we're going to work along a side, and where we did the chain 1, we now have this chain space. Okay, we are going to put a granny block into there, so we want 3 trebles into there for the chains, for the side. So we put a chain 1, and we're going to insert into this side and work 3 trebles all into the same space. And a chain 1. Now that's the side complete, because there's only the 1 space along the side. Now we are back onto a corner. So the corner is 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and 3 more trebles, all into the same space. Right, can you see that? So 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3, all into that same space. Now we're back onto a side, and we are going to work a chain 1 and 3 trebles into this space, this chain 1 space on the side. And the chain 1 was created from the previous round. Chain 1, that's another side completed. And we're going to work on to the next chain space, which is a chain 2 space, which is a corner. So we need 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles, all into the same space. Don't forget that at any time when you're watching this video, you can pause it and rewind it. Again, we're now back after the corner. You see we have 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles to make the corner. Chain 1. And now onto the side, so we just want 3 trebles on this side. And a chain 1. On this square, on a traditional granny square, we do have 2 chains in the corner and a chain 1 along the sides. If you wanted something more dense and not so holy, then you can. You don't have to do the chain 2. You don't have to do the chain 1 on the sides. Okay, you can leave those out. It just makes the holes that much a little bit smaller, but still keep to the chain 2 on the corner. So we're going to do the corner now. If you can hear anybody going past, it was some kids going past on a probably skateboard or scooter, having fun. So that's the 3 trebles, chain of 2, and then you have the corner done. Chain 1, got another chain along the side here, so we're going to put 3 trebles in it. And chain 1. And now we're back to the beginning of the round, where we need to put in 2 more trebles to complete this corner. 1, 2, and then slip stitch to complete the square. So let's just recap what we've done. We started with a chain of 6. It was there where there's 3 and 2 for the corner, and the 1 that we've worked all the stitches into, so that's the 6. So you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and they've been covered by the other stitches. Into there we have 3 trebles, a chain of 2 under there, 3 trebles, chain of 2 under there, 3 trebles, chain of 2, and then we already had here this chain, so we added 2 more trebles and slip stitch into the onto that third chain coming up to create that final block. We then slip stitched into this chain space, and we had a chain of 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 is under there, and into this same space here we did 3 trebles, a chain of 1, and then we're back to this chain space here where we're going to make the corner, so it is 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles, and then we had to chain 1 along the side. Then we have 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles, that's the corner, a chain 1 for the side. Go back to this corner here, so we do 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3, that's the corner made, chain 1 for the side, and we're back to the beginning of the round, so we just need to finish off with 2 trebles into this same chain space as it was at the beginning, slip stitch into the third chain from the hook to complete the granny block, and we slip stitch into the chain space, chain 5, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the same space we put our 3 trebles for the starting of the corner, and then into this chain 1 space we just put 1 lot of a granny block, so that's 1, 2, 3 trebles, chain 1, and our corners exactly the same as the previous round, so 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles. Then along the side you've got chain 1, 3 trebles into this chain 1 space, and then another chain 1, and our corner And again, we repeat that all the way around until we get back to the beginning, where we do our 2 trebles to complete that granny block. Slip stitch into the 3rd chain. Now if you wanted to, you keep going with multiple rounds, and you do that by just slip stitching, chain 5, and your 3 trebles would go in here. But if you notice, on the previous round there was only 1 block here, 1 hole. On this round we have 2. Okay, and then the corners, and then we have another 2. All you're going to do is multiples of these along the sides. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just work that round and then show you. If you wanted to finish off this round, just chain 1, cut the yarn and pull the loop. Okay, and then that'll secure the round. If you want to carry on, you just carry on. So slip stitch into the space, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, and 3 trebles. I'm not going to say anything for the rest of the round. I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and I will meet you at the beginning. Just Okay, so we're just going to finish off the round. So that's 2 trebles, and slip stitch into the third. So 1, 2, 3. So in, catch up a loop, put it through and pull it through. And there you have your granny square there. Okay. Now you can see along the side, now that we've done that row, we now have 1, 2, 3 chain spaces along that side. So now this is a corner, and we have 2 blocks along the sides and a corner. The next round will have the corner, and it will have 3 blocks along the side, and that's the same on all of those sides there. Okay, every side is the same. Every corner is worked in the same way, and every start and end works in the same way from this round on. You just build up the number of blocks along the side with the chain spaces that you've created. And we'll, you know, if you want to do another round on here, just slip stitch into that chain space and do your chain of 5. And then you're ready to do your next lot of block of 3 for the corner here into this space. Okay, I hope that helps, and just message me if you need any more advice.